Hey guys, it's Sekaar, and today we're going to be going over my hybrid Stamplar Magplar. It's mostly a Stamplar, but it's also kind of hybrid as well. Build for the Firesong chapter. It's a lot of fun, honestly, and it does a lot of damage, and I definitely recommend giving this one a shot. It's a lot of fun, and I think that if you're looking for a Stamplar build this patch, it's kind of tough to build into Stamplar, and honestly, I think that this is the best way to do it. So I hope that you guys enjoy. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so. It's free and it would help me out tremendously. So guys, without further ado, let's just get on with the video. Alright guys, let's get started. First things first, we're going to look at our character sheet. We're going to be Imperial on our Stamplar. In my opinion, Imperial is the best way to go for your reduced cost passives. It helps your sustain so much, and I definitely recommend it. Our attributes are going to be 21 points into health and then 43 points into stamina to give us a max magic pool of 15.1, a max health pool of 30.4, a max stam pool of 23.2. Our Mundus is going to be the apprentice because you can always build higher into spell damage than you can on weapon damage on Templars, so I definitely recommend going into spell damage for this build. Vampire Stage 3, as always, because of the Undeath passive that you get with Vampire Stage 3, it is phenomenal. You become so tanky the lower health you are, and it really helps you from staying alive and brawling out a lot of fights. And then Orzorga Smoked Bear Haunch, this is going to increase your max health by 4,300, and then also it's going to increase your stamina and magic recovery by 369 to give us a nice max health pool, and also some nice sustain as well. Our gear is going to break down like this. We're only going to have one piece of monster set on. It's going to be a heavy Balrog's helmet in the reinforced trait. The reason why we're using this is because we're not going to be able to really fit a full monster set on. So the Balrog's is going to give us one line of weapon and spell damage. We're also going to be using Curse of the Fire as our front bar set. Curse of the Fire is going to give us a line of weapon and spell damage, max stamina, crit chance, and then when you deal damage with a weapon, you're going to deal an additional 2,900 flame damage, and that can occur once every 2 seconds. So this is phenomenal in my opinion, because we're going to be using rending on this build, and rending, the dot on that is going to proc your Wave of Fire every 2 seconds. So it is just an amazing sustained damage, and it hits really hard every 2 seconds. It's phenomenal. I definitely recommend using it. Our shoulders are going to be medium Wretched Vitality in Divines. Wretched Vitality is going to give us a 2-piece of magic recovery, a 3-piece of stamina recovery, a 4-piece of weapon and spell damage, and our 5-piece is basically you're going to get 400 magic and stamina recovery by applying major and minor debuffs in combat. Sorry guys, my mouse, I don't know if you guys can see this. I'm not touching my mouse right now. You see it just moving on its own, so I don't know what's happening right now. So we're just trying to record the video just through whatever this is. So Wretched Vitality is going to really help with our sustain on this, and I really enjoy it. It's, in my opinion, the best set that we can use to complement Wave the Fire. We're also going to be using medium Wretched Vitality in Divines for our hands. Our waist is going to be medium Wretched Vitality in Impen. Our legs are going to be heavy Wretched Vitality in Reinforced. And our boots are going to be medium Wretched Vitality in Well Fitted. Our jewelry is going to be, our necklace is going to be Way of the Fire in an infused spell damage enchantment. Our other ring is going to be Ring of the Fire with an infused spell damage enchantment on it as well. And then our mythic on this is going to be Pale Order and infused with a spell damage enchantment on it. Pale Order is going to restore 20% of the damage you deal back to you as health, so it's going to really help your sustain a lot. This is going to be your solo gameplay only. If you want to build into a group play, use Markin instead maybe. But for this, Pale Order solo, it really helps with your heals, trust me. And then our front bar weapons are going to be maces, dual-wield maces of the fire. Our main hand is going to be Nirnhoned with a disease enchant on it. And then our offhand is going to be charged with a poison damage enchantment on it. And then our back bar set is going to be a Vateshran Perfected Ice Staff and the defending trait with an increased weapon and spell damage glyph on it. Vateshran is going to help your enemies. It's going to put major breach on them using the skill. And then also you're going to be putting a lot of damage between you and them because you're going to put a tether on them. And that tether is going to just put extra damage. And that's just more stuff for your Pale Order to give you back its healing. So I really like that. Then onto our skills. For our skills, we're going to be rocking on our front bar. Our main spammable is going to be biting jabs. This is going to be what you're going to start using after you die your enemies up. This is going to be a great source of sustained damage. And also on top of this, activating this is going to give you major sorcery. So this is going to increase your spell damage by 20%. So you definitely want to hit your enemies with this. That way you get that buff up. Also, Reflective Light, this is going to be a nice source of dot damage for your enemies. And on top of this, after activating, you get Major Savagery and Prophecy, increasing your weapon and spell crit by 2,629. And then also on top of this, since this is also a Dawn's Wrath ability, this is going to give you, where is this? The Illuminate passive is going to increase your spell damage because it's going to give you minor sorcery. So always make sure you're activating this and this in combat. That way you're getting your spell damage up as high as possible. Also, Rending, this is going to be what you're starting off a lot of the fights with, because this is honestly going to do so much damage over time with your Wave of the Fire proc. This is a nice damage over time that I definitely recommend. It is so much. To me, you can't run this build without it. If you're not going to run this, don't run this build, in my opinion. And then Binding Javelin, this is a great CC in my opinion. It goes through block, it goes through everything, and it is nice to be able to hit the combo with them after they're fully dotted up, and people just melt with it. And then finally, Radiant Oppression, this is going to be your execute. So when people are starting to get in that low health and they're taking way too much dot pressure, hit them with that Radiant Oppression, give them that Radiant Depression, and it just absolutely deletes them. I love it. Then our and then our ultimate on our front bar is going to be Dawnbreaker, because who doesn't love Dawnbreaker? You can use a lot of different ultimates on this build. Dawnbreaker is going to help your overall weapon and spell damage, and it's going to give you a nice little bit of dirt burst damage. If you also want to use something along the lines of Radial Sweep, I recommend that too. That's pretty good. Then also I was thinking about using Meteor as well, but I don't have it unlocked on this character, and I'm too lazy to grind lore books. So I think that would be great. It would be a little bit slower to run, but I think it would be a lot of fun. And then in our back bar skills, we're going to be using Restoring Focus. This is going to be your source of major resolve, increasing your physical and spell resistance by 6k for 20 seconds. And also, it's going to give you a nice heal over time, and it's also going to restore some stamina as well. Race Against Time, proccing this is alone going to proc your Wretched Vitality, and then also on top of this is going to be your snare removal, so it's going to remove all immobilizations and snares from you, and it's going to give you immunity to them for 4 seconds. Resolving Vigor, this is going to be your main heal over time, so it's going to give you a nice 5-second heal, and then on top of that, you're also getting Minor Resolve, increasing your physical and spell resistance by 3k. Then Honor the Dead, this is going to be your burst heal on this bar. I really like this ability. It is the highest heal you can get on a Templar, and when your Resolving Vigor and your Restoring Focus aren't doing enough heals, that is going to be what takes over. And then Ellie's Susceptibility, this is going to be what's going to proc your Vatashron staff on your back bar. And then on top of that, this is also going to give you Major Breach on your enemies, so it's going to reduce their physical and spell resistance by 6k. Then also on top of that, every 6 seconds while this ability persists, the enemy is afflicted with the Burning, Chilled, and Concussion status effect. That is huge, it's amazing damage, and it is great to get that kind of healing back also with your Pale Order too. And then finally, on our back bar ultimate, it's going to be Temporal Guard. The only reason why we're really using this is for the minor protection on your back bar, so we get a little bit tankier. And then finally, our champion points. Our blue slottables are going to be Master at Arms, Focus Mending, Deadly Aim, and Ironclad. Our red slottables are going to be Survival Instincts, Celerity, Pain's Refuge, and Sustained by Suffering. And then the only things that we really care about in the green tree are Breakfall, Rationer, and Liquid Efficiency. Alright guys, that is the build. I hope that you guys enjoy. I'm sorry about my mouse being all weird. I don't know what's happening with that, so I apologize. But guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so. It would mean the world to me. Maybe I'd be able to pay for a new mouse. That'd be awesome. Guys, also, if you want to see builds like this live in action, you can catch me live at twitch.tv/Sekaar, where I stream 5 days a week. Come check it out, leave a follow. And guys, that's it from me. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys on the next video. Later.